All right, thank you everyone for tonight's spinal workshop and being here, because I recognize that time is energy and sometimes even money too. So anytime we spend time doing one thing, we're sacrificing time and energy somewhere else as well. So I want to make sure that the time spent here is important. My whole heart's desire is to create extraordinary moments with people who are moving towards me. So I don't believe there are any accidents or coincidences in life. We're here right now in this time and space together on purpose. So I ask that you open your heart, open your minds, so that we can learn together. These are very interactive. Feel free to stop me, ask questions. I might repeat you so that people can pick up and hear the question in my microphone as well. And it's just going to get posted online on YouTube later this week. So I just ask that you have an open heart and an open mind so that you can learn something new, because we all have something to learn from each other, but then apply it right away, because learning something and not applying it then leads to depression. When we know better, but we don't do it, we tend to not lead down the best path that we know better. So today is about sleep position. So we're actually going to do this interactive. And so what I want you guys to do, actually I need a person. Dawn, because we need to pair up in the audience, I want you guys to check posture, because it's going to lead right into our sleep position too. So really quick though, I have my spinal decay chart. What we want to see in our neck is a nice curve. Okay, we want to have a curve in our neck. Our upper back curve goes the other way and our low back curve goes the same way as the neck. What happens in life, or especially if you think about sleeping, we often sleep in like the fetal position, which then takes our neck and our low back curves out. So what I would like everyone to do and partner up is to check each other's posture. So partner number one is going to be standing up nice, tall, and straight. And I want posture number two, or person number two, to check the posture, make sure, are their eyes level or are they tilted one way? Are their ears over their shoulders or are they forward? Are the shoulders over the hips? Are the hips over the knees and the knees over the ankles? So go ahead and pair up. Partner number one, stand up nice, tall, straight like a soldier. Partner number two, check the posture and then correct their posture. See if you can get them a little bit more straighter in what we want to see. And then when you're done with that, go ahead and switch. What do you notice? Are their shoulders the same height? Are their hips the same height?
Yes.
And when your spine's straight, you might feel a little crooked and imbalanced. Yeah.
Now I do you?
Yeah, go ahead and switch partners when you're done.
Oh, God. You're fine. No. All right.
Sure I am.
See?
Where do you want me?
I don't know.
Look at your butt.
Okay.
I'm left.
You want to look at
Okay.
Want to look at your side view.
No, your shoulder is lower than the shoulder.
Where'd you work here? What do you do?
Here's just your shirt.
You do good? Yeah, I think you've done good.
Should we work on Dr. Seeley's? What else am I checking?
Not too many people check my posture, so yeah, I'm all for it if you want to check my posture.
Shoulders a little high. Your back. What do you think? The shoulders a little high.
Just a tad. There you go.
I had a shoulder injury.
Ah.
Yeah, so I guarded it since 11th grade.
Oh my gosh. Your shoulder again.
Yeah.
Other than that, well, look at the side view.
I think I can tell I have forward ear carriage.
Right.
Forward head
Now you
carriage.
have a nice curve though in your
Can I move again?
spine.
I have a straight neck.
She does. There's no curve in that.
All right. So go ahead, come on back to your seats. But someone share with me, what did you notice about when your posture was being corrected on yourself? What did it feel like?
Out of whack when you get correct.
Out of whack. Like when we were corrected to have more a straighter spine, it felt more crooked, like we were leaning over one way or the other, right? So often when we lay down in a horizontal position to go to rest, we're taking ourselves out of sorts in all sorts of positions. So here's the number one rule when going to sleep, no matter what position you are in, is to keep your spine in the most neutral position. Okay? So when you go to bed tonight, go do your regular thing. But then I want you to check your posture. What does it feel like? Do you have that forward ear carriage? Because most people like to do a fetal position, like I mentioned earlier, is that we're tucking here. All right, so now we have a bigger head tilt. We might curl our feet up or just one side. I might ask you guys to call yourselves out, but you don't have to. Stomach sleepers, just stop. Just stop. And it's not about the stomach. I had someone stop me and be like, oh, I was reading a book on my stomach and then I remembered you said that was bad. It's not about laying on your stomach. It's actually about, because when you lay down on your stomach, you then have to turn your head in order to breathe. So unless you have the nice tables or massage tables like I have where there's room for your nose and mouth and you're looking straight down, you want to make sure, that's your spine in the most neutral position, right? So if you have to cock your head up and if you're laying using your arm as a pillow like this, you're now creating all sorts of twisting in your spine that is not going to be good. So I can actually tell when I go to adjust patients' necks, if it's constantly on the same side, some of their bad habits and positions that they have while they're sleeping. The next thing that people like to do if they're side sleepers, hands might be up here or one arm. I'm not too worried about the arms and shoulders. What it is usually the hips. Side sleepers like to knock or bend that top leg and then twist over. So they're half on their stomach-ish, half on their side, which then puts a twist in the low back and hips. And this is the one we see the most often. The majority of all people are side sleepers. But we need to be more back sleepers. Now, if you can sleep on your back, what I like to do is coffin sleeping. That's what I call it, coffin sleeping. So you're just straight on your back, hands right there, and you want a pillow that is flat or maybe has a little neck support to put that arch into your neck. If you're a side sleeper, you want a pillow that is going to have the exact depth for the camera right here so that your head is not tipping to one side or tipping up. So anyone have those like pretty beds that has like 20 pillows on it? And tell you, yeah, that's good. Some people do. Like I even have chiropractic friends that do. I'm like, you put all those pillows on your bed, take them off every night and put them back on every morning? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, it looks pretty, but it doesn't suffice or actually is even good for our posture a lot of times. Or even sleeping, sitting up in bed and reading a book, then our posture is even worse, right? We're then looking down. We've actually taken the neck curve out, and then where we got our feet out, it actually takes the low back curve out too as we're leaning backwards. So when we take the curves out and then we got gravity constantly pushing down on us, it's actually going to create more wear and tear on the disc spaces and the joints, then leading to more arthritis, fixation, and subluxations. And for anyone that's new, subluxation is a misaligned vertebrae putting pressure on a nerve. Therefore, the brain and body connection lessens. So having bad posture while we're sleeping then tends to create more problems in our spine. And when our spine has problems, our health deteriorates. You had a question?
I'm a back sleeper.
Yeah.
Is it okay to put a pillow like on?
That's exactly where I was going, because what we wanted to talk about, like so many people I tell, hey, you really should be sleeping on your back, or if you are sleeping on your side, you need this type of pillow. But they're like, they come up with excuses all the time for me. They're like, I can't sleep flat on my back, it hurts, that type of thing. So yes, you are welcome, especially if you're a back sleeper, or if you can sleep on your back, to put pillows under the knees or ankles and prop them up. So the fetus position is not necessarily bad, and it does alleviate some of that pressure, especially in the horizontal position. Okay, so even as a side sleeper, you can do the fetal position, but the rule is your knees have to be parallel. Okay, they're either out long or they're bent. Sometimes I might recommend putting a pillow between the knees, because learning to sleep on your side without that pillow, the reason why most people twist is because the knees together tend to cause some pain, right? So you can put a pillow in between the knees. No one ever wakes up with a pillow between their knees, right? It's usually kicked out, but you have to consistently change a habit, and at least starting out mentally aware of the position you want to be in is going to help your body in some way and form. And over time, as you consistently tell yourself to do that, your body will train. So when I started going from being pregnant, finding comfortable positions, I ended up sleeping with a pillow between my legs because that's when I had knee pain. Now I can sleep on my side with no knee pain and my knees are together. Any other questions?
So I have a kind of random question about like when you read the book, can you, because I normally sit with my knees up so the book is on my knees.
Yeah.
Is that better for you than?
So our body is meant to be in certain positions. So the question is, and let me see if I can mimic this posture here for the camera, and what the question is. So if we're sitting in bed, you're up here, knees are up, book's here.
Yeah.
This is actually pretty good because the neck curve, you might have a little forward head carriage here, but you're not doing this. So you're not taking the curve out, and that's really good. And that's the same thing for posture on anytime we're on our phones. Texting, watching movies, where your TV is positioned in your house. We want to be looking up just slightly. So you want to really learn how to get the buff arms and the triceps is start moving your phone up here, okay, rather than down here.
Laptop on lap, so I'm like this.
Laptop on the lap. Yeah, stop it.
I know.
Yeah,
I know
just
exactly.
stack those books or couch pillows and put the laptop up here. Yep. It's the same thing with desk and posture. Deborah.
We have a bed that back raises up, and we use that to, I read, he plays on his.
Yeah.
Is that okay? It kind of.
I mean, it is okay. It's the same as a recliner. You're still going to have forward head carriage. So if we're really sitting in proper position, we want to be kind of perching forward, our ears back, our shoulders back. Anytime we're being inclined, where our shoulders tend to be back more, which means our forward head carriage becomes more and more. And so for, on average, every inch forward, your ears are off your shoulders, it adds 10 pounds of pressure onto the back of your head and neck. So if our head on average weighs between 8 to 14 pounds, and we add an inch to that, that means your head is as if it weighs 25 to 35 pounds then. That's a lot. And while our bodies are designed to take that, not for extended amount of time. So there are a lot of patients we have that are falling asleep in recliners or falling asleep in the inclined position like that, where they keep their bed does do that. They're told that for like snorers, people that snore. I'll just incline them a little bit. They sell specific incline pillows even. And so you have to weigh out the risks, the pros and the cons with everything, right? You know, if snoring's keeping up a partner, you know, you got a happy wife is a happy life, right? So taking away some things versus, you know, maintaining posture all the time. And snoring is a problem, really. So it should be looked into medically as well. And sometimes just restoring posture and even losing weight can actually reduce snoring as well, or learning to breathe properly. Any other questions? Did I answer your question? It is okay, but it's not okay. So in between answer, right? You just gotta weigh out your risks, your pros and your cons with all of it. Yeah. Waterbed, so support. People ask me if, like, do we do hard surfaces? Do we do soft surfaces? And it really kind of does depend on size and weight, and you'll hear a bunch of different opinions, and I've actually never found one thing that works for everyone. So I don't think there is a golden rule or general rule, but if we're keeping in assessment our posture, then the waterbed is not ideal for support. If we are able to be able to sleep on your back, a firmer surface is actually going to be better with a flatter pillow. Now, if you're a side sleeper though, you want that larger one and you have more curve. So a softer bed might help a side sleeper more too. It really depends on body type. You got to find what works for you. That's why we have a lot of people that like, is it the Sleep Number? Has two different sides, and yep, you can choose.
Sleep Number and Tempur-Pedic.
Yeah, but if you go read reviews for Sleep Number or Tempur-Pedic, I mean, there's pros and cons with everything. They work for one person, they don't work for another. So there's not one place I recommend for anyone to go for pillows or mattresses. I am a huge fan. There is a place local in Holland called Chiro Bed. You can go to chirobed.com. They're called Spinal Line. That's what it is. And so the fact that they're here in Holland is amazing. They make mattresses, and they actually have a prescription sheet that I can fill out. I can tell them where our patient's subluxations are, what their problem is, and they will actually measure you for pillows. And one of my favorite pillows is called the Therapeutica. The Therapeutica has 3 sides to it, and I don't mean like turning sides. I have a picture printed out, but it's not going to be easy for the camera. The Therapeutica has a middle part. The middle of it, think of it as long rectangle. In the middle, it has a ledge for the neck and a dip for the head. But then on the sides, it has these wings that are up higher. So if you were to roll onto your right side, it has this gap. And if you were to roll to your left side, it has the same on the right side. So it has this gap. So that if you're someone that moves throughout the night, this pillow is going to support you. And they run about $100. You can get them on chirobed.com. And they come in like 4 different sizes. One of the other pillows I recommend is the Z pillow. Multiple companies carry the Z pillow. Chirobed.com also carries a Z pillow. It's your typical pillow, but it has a U-shaped cut into it, allowing that shoulder to have that gap there so that your head's not down and not up. And they have multiple forms of the Z pillow where they have like a lavender one, a charcoal one, a gel one, just depending on what is great for your comfort. But anyone who is looking into purchasing like pillows and mattresses, I always recommend talking with the people that are selling them too. I mean, they see a lot more people talking about it than I do, and they might see something else clinically in their, I mean, they're not their patients, but I guess they're clients. Yeah. Any other questions?
Could ask a whole bunch of questions.
Yeah.
So my mom has arthritis,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a pillow that I bought her for Christmas a few years ago, and it's almost got like a place to put your hand. Have you ever heard?
I have not seen a
Okay.
pillow that has a place to put your
Okay.
hand.
I
Yeah.
don't know, but one of my aunts or cousins told her about it, and they said it would help because she's got arthritis in her hands.
Yeah.
And she said that with the pillow, because it's almost got that U shape for the head,
Yeah.
and it sits higher up in the middle, and then it's almost like a wing where you can put your hand at.
Interesting. No, I'd have to see that to have an opinion on
She
it.
didn't like it.
Yeah.
But I just think it's because she always had like the small feathered pillows.
Yeah.
So that's a huge change.
Yeah.
So I haven't found it since she put it away because I was gonna try it one day just to see what it was like.
Yeah. One of the other things I had on topic to talk about, depending on who was here though, was like co-sleeping, or family beds and learning how to do that as well. But I don't know, do you have an interest in going there too?
I mean,
Yeah.
he only sleeps in our bed maybe once or twice.
Yeah.
But I normally try to keep him in the crib.
Yeah.
if
And
anything.
I recommend that. I have a family bed, so my 4 and 5-year-old are still in bed with us, and I try to talk them out of it because now I have bruises all up and down my legs from being kicked all night. So you're right, and they're not in the good position anymore either. It worked out when they were smaller. It was easier for us, but now I'm like, all right, how do I make this transition? So they're in good beds, and they have their own beds set up too. So there's multiple parenting techniques and videos out there too that I've worked with to get them into their own beds. I have the problem though myself, is that I'm like, I keep going
I
back.
was gonna say because I can normally put him down at night, and then he'll get up at like 2, 3 in the morning, and then I'll lay down with him, give him a bottle, and then I just end up falling back asleep.
Mm-hmm.
But I did really good yesterday. He actually stayed in his bed all night and actually put himself back to sleep without a bottle.
Awesome.
And then I ruined that this morning.
So just being consistent. And so it's the same thing when you're learning to go from like co-sleeping to separating beds, as it is in changing your own posture when you are sleeping. But here's the thing, is remembering your why. Like if we're comfortable and you don't have any pain, why would you want to change your posture in sleeping? Because it adds up over time. We're talking about when we take the curve out of our neck especially, it actually adds pressure onto the nerves. And when there's pressure added to the nerves, and only actually 10% of our nerves can actually feel pain, which means 90% of our nerves are more about function. We don't necessarily feel that they have that stress on them, but it manifests after decades of having that stress and pressure on them. So remembering that every day is a choice, right? Life happens because we make one good decision at a time. Don't try to take on the world and change everything. Like you're going to go change your pillow, change your mattress, change your sleep position, get the kids out of the bed. Just try one thing at a time, because the majority of deaths, like if you look up on Google, what is the leading cause of death? It's like heart disease and then cancer, specifically lung cancer. And the list goes on and on. But honestly, the leading cause of death is poor choices, because the majority of deaths can be prevented. And it's the same thing with even getting old or arthritis. What we do to our bodies, what we put into our bodies, and even our thoughts and our stressors mentally have an impact on our health. And when we take the time to sit in community and choose to better ourselves, that is when we become a stronger, healthier, and better community together as well. So thank you guys so much for your presence here tonight. I truly appreciate it. I'm available for questions if you have anything afterwards as well. Or in the comments online, you can also add questions and we'll try to get to them later as well. And just for being here tonight, guys, we have the special prizes. So make sure you got your tickets to put into, and we're going to share a product of the week with you as well that you can take home and try. So thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.